The world shuddered. Systems blinked out. In an instant, the digital heartbeat of the globe faltered. Cities plunged into darkness, and the hum of technology was replaced by an eerie silence. Chaos rippled through the digital veins of global finance. Stock markets crashed, and the once bustling offices of financial institutions were thrown into disarray. Panic spread like wildfire as the realization dawned that this was no ordinary glitch. A new player had entered the game. This was a calculated strike, a deliberate act of digital warfare. The world was under siege by an unseen enemy. He called himself the Wraith, a name that would soon become synonymous with fear and uncertainty in the cyber realm.
My attacks are swift and brutal. They are designed to exploit the weakest links in the most fortified systems. I strike without warning, leaving chaos in my wake. They leave a trail of digital wreckage in their wake. Firewalls crumble, databases empty, no system seems safe. The Wraith's touch is like a digital plague, spreading rapidly and leaving devastation behind.
The Wraith's signature was a chillingly elegant string of binary code. It was more than just a mark, it was a message, a declaration of his presence and his power. It was a cryptic message, a taunt to the world's best security experts, a challenge that dared them to try and stop him, knowing full well they were outmatched. It whispered of power, of control, and of a darkness yet to come. The Wraith was not just a hacker, he was a harbinger of a new era of cyber warfare. This binary signature became a symbol of dread. It was a reminder that in the digital age, the most dangerous threats are the ones you cannot see. It was a digital ghost haunting the corridors of power. The Wraith's presence was felt in every corner of the cyber world, from corporate offices to government agencies. Governments scrambled to understand the threat. Experts were baffled. The Wraith's methods were unlike anything they had seen before, and his motives remained a mystery. The Wraith was a phantom, a ghost in the machine. His actions were unpredictable, his presence untraceable. The world could only watch and wait, hoping to uncover the identity of this digital spectre before it was too late.
My phone shrieked in the pre-dawn darkness. The insistent ringing tore me from sleep. I fumbled for the device, my heart pounding.
The voice on the other end was urgent. It spoke of a national emergency, a cyber attack of unprecedented scale. India's critical infrastructure was under siege. Ravi, a top digital forensics investigator, felt a chill run down his spine. This was not a drill. This was the real thing.
I threw on my clothes, my mind racing.
The city outside his window was still asleep, unaware of the digital war raging beneath the surface. Ravi grabbed his laptop and rushed out the door. He was stepping into a nightmare. Across the vast and majestic Himalayas, another expert was being roused from his deep focus. The serene and remote location was suddenly filled with the urgency of a call that could not be ignored. Nian, a renowned Chinese hacker, was in the midst of his intricate work when he received a similar call. His reputation as a cybersecurity expert was well known, and this call was a testament to his skills. The urgency in the voice on the other end was unmistakable. It was a call to action, a call that demanded immediate attention and swift response.
I am known for my lightning-fast reflexes and my uncanny ability to anticipate my opponent's moves. In the world of cybersecurity, speed and foresight are everything. I am a digital dragon, breathing fire in the virtual world. My presence is felt in every corner of the cyber realm, where I guard against threats and strike with precision.
The Chinese government had recognized the global threat that loomed over the digital landscape. They knew that this was not a battle they could fight alone. In a rare move, they reached out to India, seeking collaboration and mutual support. The stakes were too high for old rivalries to stand in the way. A collaboration was forged in the crucible of crisis. Experts from both nations came together, united by a common goal and a shared sense of urgency. Two nations, two experts, united against a common enemy. Ravi and Nian, despite their cultural differences, found themselves on the same side of a digital battlefield. Ravi and Nian, despite their cultural differences, found common ground. They realized that their combined expertise was their greatest weapon against the looming threat. They shared a language, the language of code. In the world of ones and zeros, they communicated seamlessly, their skills complementing each other perfectly. They began to share data, insights, and strategies. Every piece of information was a potential key to unlocking the solution to the crisis they faced. A fragile alliance was formed, built on trust and the necessity of the moment. Together they stood a chance to turn the tide and protect the digital world from impending doom. The hunt for the Wraith began. Ravi and Nian worked tirelessly, tracing the digital footprints of their elusive adversary. The Wraith was a master of disguise, a chameleon in the digital jungle. His attacks were unpredictable, his methods constantly evolving. He seemed to be always one step ahead, a phantom just out of reach.
We delved deeper into the code. We analyzed every line, every byte, searching for clues. We were chasing a ghost, a digital spectre haunting the global network.
The pressure mounted. The world watched. Every passing hour brought new attacks, new breaches. The Wraith's game was escalating. Section 5. The Labyrinth. The Wraith's code was a labyrinth, a complex maze designed to trap the unwary.
We found ourselves lost in its intricate twists and turns, dead ends, false leads.
Each step forward seemed to lead us 2 steps back. The Wraith was toying with us, drawing us deeper into his web.
Time was running out. The Wraith's attacks were becoming more brazen, more destructive. The global economy teetered on the brink of collapse.
The world held its breath.
The fate of nations hung in the balance.
Ravi and Nian knew they had to find a way out of the labyrinth, and fast. Section 6. Digital Duel. A breakthrough came unexpectedly.
I discovered a hidden pattern in the Wraith's code, a subtle repetition, a telltale sign of his methodology.
A chink in his armor. Ravi and Nian seized the opportunity.
We crafted a digital counterattack, a trap designed to lure the Wraith into the open. A digital duel was about to begin.
They deployed their countermeasure, a carefully crafted piece of code designed to mimic a vulnerable system. The bait was set. Now they waited.
The tension was palpable.
The digital world held its breath. The hunt was on. The Wraith took the bait. He infiltrated the decoy system, unaware of the trap that awaited him.
Now, Nian, let's spring the attack.
Ravi and Nian sprang their attack. The digital battle raged. Code clashed against code. A silent war fought in the virtual realm. The server farm hummed with activity, the air thick with tension.
We need to push our systems to the limit, Ravi. There's no room for error.
They were in a race against time, a desperate struggle to contain the Wraith's destructive power. The world watched, helpless. The fate of nations hung in the balance. The showdown had begun. The Wraith fought back with ferocity. His code was a whirlwind of destruction, tearing through their defenses.
Hold your ground, Nian. We can counter this.
But Ravi and Nian held their ground. They countered every attack, every maneuver. Their combined expertise proved a formidable match for the Wraith's skills. The battle raged on.
Slowly, we're gaining the upper hand. Just keep pushing.
Slowly, painstakingly, they began to gain the upper hand. They pushed the Wraith back, inch by digital inch. The tide was turning. The echoes of the battle reverberated through the digital world. The outcome was still uncertain. Just as victory seemed within their grasp, the Wraith vanished. He disappeared as quickly as he had arrived, leaving behind a trail of digital wreckage.
We won the battle, but the war is far from over.
Ravi and Nian had won the battle, but they had not won the war. The Wraith was still out there, lurking in the shadows. They had thwarted his immediate threat, but they knew this was just the beginning.
There's something bigger at play here, Ravi. An unseen hand is pulling the strings.
The world breathed a collective sigh of relief, unaware of the danger that still lurked beneath the surface. In the aftermath of the attack, Ravi and Nian examined the remnants of the Wraith's code. They meticulously combed through every line, every function and every variable, hoping to uncover the secrets hidden within the malicious software. The room was filled with the soft hum of computers and the occasional click of a mouse, a stark contrast to the tension that hung in the air. They discovered a hidden message, a cryptic warning embedded deep within the code. It was as if the Wraith had left a calling card, a taunt to those who dared to challenge its creator. The message was brief but chilling, hinting at a much larger and more dangerous game at play.
This message, it speaks of a larger conflict, a looming cyber war. It's not just about this one attack. It's a prelude to something much bigger, something that could change the very fabric of our digital world. The implications were staggering, and the weight of the discovery pressed heavily on their shoulders.
The message spoke of a larger conflict, a looming cyber war that threatened to engulf the world. It was a stark reminder that the digital realm was not as safe as many believed. The Wraith was just a pawn in a much bigger game, a game orchestrated by unseen hands with unknown motives. The Wraith was just a pawn in a much bigger game. The true masterminds remained hidden, pulling the strings from the shadows. Every move, every attack was part of a grand strategy, a digital chess game where the stakes were nothing less than global security.
We're facing a war now, Ravi. A war that transcends borders and governments, fought in the invisible corridors of cyberspace. It's a war where the rules are constantly changing and the enemy is always one step ahead. A war we might not be able to win. The uncertainty gnawed at them. The realization that they were up against an adversary with seemingly limitless resources and cunning. The odds were stacked against them, and the path ahead was fraught with peril.
Ravi and Nian looked at each other, a sense of dread washing over them. They had faced challenges before, but this was different. This was a battle for the very soul of the digital world, and the stakes had never been higher. They had won a battle, but they were now facing a war. A war that would require every ounce of their skill, determination, and ingenuity. The fight was no longer just about protecting data. It was about safeguarding the future. A war they were not sure they could win. The enormity of the task ahead was daunting, and the fear of failure loomed large. But they knew they had no choice but to fight, to stand against the tide of darkness threatening to engulf the digital world. The whispers of a larger war began to circulate. In hushed tones and secret meetings, the reality of the threat was slowly dawning on those in the know. The world was on the brink of a new era of conflict. A digital battlefield where the stakes were higher than ever before. The world was on the brink of a new era of conflict. A digital battlefield where the stakes were higher than ever before. The future was uncertain, and the only certainty was that the battle for control of the digital realm had just begun. The echoes of this conflict would be felt far and wide, shaping the course of history in ways yet to be imagined.